Welcome to the official podcast of the Miami-Dade County Homeless Trust. It's the peak of summer, so today we're discussing the Trust's extensive efforts to keep Miami's unhoused population safe as we navigate extreme heat and potential hurricanes later this season. Welcome to the official podcast of the Homeless Trust. If you have not noticed, it's hot. I mean, it's ridiculously hot. It feels like 110 out there, which poses all kinds of problems for all of Miami, but specific and particular problems with the homeless population. And that's why today, joining me, Chairman Ron Book, Executive Director Victoria Millette, we're going to talk about the heat and what you guys are doing with regard to the homeless population.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to again join you.
What's going on out there?
So thus far this year, we've had 9 heat advisories. That's when the temperature, the heat index reaches 105 and is suspected to be sustained for up to 2 hours. We're just getting into the season because last year we know we had approximately 60 heat advisories. So we are just getting started.
So this isn't new. You guys have been doing this.
We've been in this mode for several years in partnership with the county's Office of Resiliency, the National Weather Service, as well as our Department of Emergency Management in Miami-Dade County.
And what's the plan look like? When it hits that, what actually happens on the streets?
So we go into hot weather mode or we go into extreme heat mode. And what you see is our outreach teams wear red shirts. I think our chairman has an example right here. And this is a visual alert to all those individuals experiencing unsheltered homelessness that it's extremely hot outside and you need to stay hydrated and keep under shade if possible. We have our teams stationed across and fanned out across Miami-Dade County, passing out water, electrolyte kits, neck gaiters, and any other heat supplies. We also ask our outreach teams, if requested, that they transport individuals to cooling sites countywide, which include largely public libraries and some community centers within our county parks. So we are all hands on deck. We have tremendous, wonderful donations from groups like 7-Eleven and No Days Off Water, so that we can station this at some of our shelters and our outreach teams can drive through those shelters and pick up necessary supplies that they need to hit the streets.
And do you guys think, are you getting anecdotal data that this is making a difference?
Look, data is great. You need common sense to only understand how bad things are out there. If you walk 50 feet in this dreadful, oppressive heat, whether you're in a suit or you're in a t-shirt and a pair of swim trunks, it's oppressive. It's hot. I want folks in our community to understand that this is as much of a humanitarian effort by the Trust as anything that we do. We're talking about people who live on the streets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, recognizing the lifespan of a homeless individual is 13 to 17 fewer years of life expectancy than the three of us are going to have. Periods of time like this, and I got there's no climate change. I got that here's what I am sure of. I'm sure that over the last 3 or 4 years, we have all experienced what these heat advisories have meant to regular people in the community. And then when you speak about those that are less fortunate, those that are homeless, those that live on the streets, this is about saving their lives. This is about prolonging their lives. This is about providing humanitarian relief to those that we are here to serve.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will, it sure feels hotter now than it has in the past. I mean, and how you want to attribute that, I don't really care.
I grew up in this community. It's never been anything like this.
No, it's nuts. What does this cost you guys? Like, how much does it? What does it cost to get all these supplies and mobilize out there and start helping these people?
Well, as I mentioned, we've had tremendous donations from corporations that have helped offset any costs we experience. We're already out on the streets anyway, so this is really just a lot of messaging plus providing supplies that are so generously donated. So the costs are low, but the rewards can be high because we keep people not only safe from the elements, but we're continuing to engage them for what our real mission is. Let's pull you off the street and help you get stable in housing and not be unsheltered any longer.
That's cool.
And go back, the water is our biggest expense, and all of that's been underwritten by No Days Off Water, one of our local water companies, which provides a premium water to the folks on the streets, along with our partners at 7-Eleven, who have made certain that all of those hydration needs are being provided to us.
And being able to give that stuff out gives you a reason to talk to these people, try to get them into shelter. And once they're in shelter, do they generally stay in shelter?
So outreach is a great engagement tool. And yes, people go into shelter, but nobody stays in shelter. Shelter is a crisis option. So we're not trying to push people out of shelter prematurely, but we are trying to use shelter as exactly what it is, a crisis place when you have no other options, and then move you on to something better. That can look different for different people. Maybe your health needs are particularly high and you cannot do your own activities of daily living. We would move you on to an assisted living facility through our coordinated network. Perhaps you have family or friends here or elsewhere. So reunification and relocation are on our menu. Perhaps you just need a quick boost because somebody died who was paying the expenses in a household, and with a short amount of deposit assistance and, lasting just a few months, you're off and back on your feet, reemployed, whatever that is. And then some people we know are permanently disabled and they're really on a fixed income and need continuing support and able to remain stably housed.
In addition to the heat, we're in the middle of hurricane season. Now, it's been quiet, thank God. But it's not a if, it's a when. Are we going to have these, storms rolling in? What's the plan for that? I know that it's been rather extensive in the past, and that's also an opportunity to get people off the streets and into housing.
Our community's ability, our continuum's ability to deal with the heat was the precursor to that was our ability to know how to respond to hurricanes. We are very trained and very skilled at mobilizing our outreach teams, mobilizing our shelters, coordinating with other emergency departments in order to make sure that someone who does not want to be in the elements for a hurricane does not have to be in the elements for a hurricane. We take care of our own, and then we use resources throughout the community to make sure that no one has to be on the streets and endure a storm. So if anything, our history with working with hurricanes and activations related to extreme weather helped prepare us for our heat procedures and protocols, which are newer.
3 weather challenges: tropical weather, cold weather, hot weather. And I think that our teams, our providers, have become very efficient and effective at moving people during these inclement weather type events. I think, you touched on a point, Tom. What happens, they come in. Our goal is always to retain people. Our goal is always keep people and work them to stay inside and give us the opportunity, A, not only to provide services, but B, to get them reassimilated back into mainstream success in our community, self-sustaining themselves in the community through job placement and the like. So I think that, that factors into what we do. We track those numbers. We try to determine what our percentage of retainage is so that we can continue to build on our successes.
Well, let's be honest. And you've said this quite a number of times. If you're somebody who's on the streets and there is a big storm rolling in and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to go to the shelter, you need mental health counseling. How does that play into that? How have you guys used that in the past, and how do you plan on using it given the new dynamic with 1365 and the orders to get people off the streets?
Look, nobody wants to hear about us forcing people off the streets. But if we get to a point during hurricane season, as we did one year, where we got to have a storm bearing down on us, and we have people not coming in and they're sleeping on the seawalls in the various parks around our communities, we will use whatever means are necessary to protect them from themselves. Remember what the definition of the Baker Act. Are you a threat to yourself or to others? Not just to others, but to yourself. And if you're not doing what needs to be done and you're putting your life at risk, we will do whatever's necessary to save you.
What do the folks at home need to know about extreme heat or hurricane season with regard to homelessness? How can they help? What can they do?
Thank you.
We welcome large-scale donations of water, of electrolyte kits, of neck gaiters and other heat-suppressing supplies or supplies that help keep people safe during hot weather. And then just know that, I know we all look to help our friends and neighbors in times of crises, that the Homeless Trust has it covered. We are laser focused on serving those that we commit to serving, and we have a plan to assist unsheltered people in obtaining shelter when a storm approaches.
And those that want to provide financial support, all they have to do is go to the Miami Foundation, and there's a prompt and a link to contribute to the Miami-Dade County Homeless Trust.
Excellent. Ron, Victoria, thanks for joining us. That's all we have for this week. Join us again next week when we talk about all things politics.